why your brain feels broken. You sit down to study, but within 5 minutes you are checking your phone. Your attention span is shattered. It is quietly stealing your future. If you cannot focus, you cannot succeed. Today, we rebuild your mind. Does this sound familiar? You open your English book, you feel ready, you feel motivated. Then a small red notification appears on your screen. You think, I will just check this one message. Suddenly, 30 minutes are gone. You are watching a video of a cat, or scrolling through photos of people you don't even know. You feel tired, you feel guilty, and worst of all, you feel like you are not smart enough to learn English. But let me tell you something important. You are not the problem. Your brain is not broken. You are simply living in a world designed to steal your focus. Every app and every website wants your attention because your attention is money. They have trained your mind to crave constant excitement. Because of this, slow things feel painful. Learning a language is slow. Improving your life is slow. If your brain only wants fast dopamine, you will always struggle to reach your goals. But there is good news. Your brain is like a muscle. You can train it to focus again. You can build a fortress around your mind that distractions cannot enter. In this video, I will show you exactly how to detox your mind and regain your power. So before we fix the problem, we must understand how it started. Chapter 1. The Dopamine Hijack. Here is the surprising truth. Your brain is being hijacked every single day. To fix your focus, you first need to understand a tiny chemical called dopamine. Most people think dopamine is about pleasure, but that is not quite right. Dopamine is about the anticipation of pleasure. It is the seeking chemical. It is the voice in your head that says, check your phone, something exciting might be there. Think about your ancestors thousands of years ago. They needed dopamine to survive. It made them look for food, water, and safety. When they found a berry bush, they got a small hit of dopamine. It felt good. It kept them alive. But today, you don't have to hunt for berries. You have a smartphone. Every time you pull down to refresh your social media feed, it is like playing a slot machine in a casino. Will there be a like? A funny comment? A shocking news story? Your brain loves this random reward. Modern apps are engineered by the smartest people in the world to trigger this exact reaction. They want you to stay on the app for as long as possible. They use bright colors, infinite scrolling, and constant notifications to keep your dopamine levels high. After years of this, your brain changes. It becomes desensitized. This means it needs more and more noise to feel normal. Now think about studying English. You sit down with a vocabulary list. It is quiet. It is slow. There are no bright lights or loud sounds. Compared to a viral video, studying feels boring. It feels like your brain is starving. You are not bad at English. You are just experiencing a dopamine crash. When you try to do something difficult, your brain screams for a quick hit of digital sugar. If you give in, you train your brain that hard work is bad and distraction is good. Later in this video, I will show you a simple habit to reverse this. But for now, I want you to realize that your lack of focus is not a character flaw. It is a biological reaction to a digital trap. You are not lazy. You are just overstimulated. So now we understand how the trap works. But here is the dangerous part. Most of us try to fight this by doing more things at once. We think we are being productive, but we are actually making the problem much worse. Chapter 2. The Myth of Multitasking. Most learners believe they are saving time by doing two things at once. You listen to an English podcast while scrolling through your emails. You keep a grammar video open in one tab while checking the news in another. You think you are being efficient, but science tells a very different story. Your brain cannot actually focus on two complex tasks at the same time. Instead, it context switches. It jumps back and forth at lightning speed. Every time you switch, you pay a switch cost. Your brain loses a little bit of energy and a lot of focus. When you switch from an English lesson to a text message, your brain stays stuck on that message for several minutes. You are physically there, looking at the English words, but your mind is still thinking about what your friend wrote. This destroys your memory. To learn English, your brain needs to move information from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. This process requires deep, steady focus. If you interrupt it every 3 minutes, the information never sticks. It just evaporates. Let's try a quick experiment right now. How many tabs do you have open on your browser or your phone right now? Be honest. Is it 5, 10, 20? Each of those tabs is a tiny leak in your mental energy. They are open loops, telling your brain that there is something else to do. Close them. Close every tab except this video. Turn your phone face down. Let's focus. By closing those tabs, you are telling your brain that this moment is the only thing that matters. You are giving your mind permission to stop jumping. If you continue to multitask, you will study for hours but learn nothing. You will feel exhausted but have no progress to show for it. But if you learn to do one thing at a time, you will learn 10 times faster than the person trying to do everything. So now we know why we must stop jumping. But how do we actually stop ourselves from reaching for our phones when things get difficult? The answer is not about having more willpower. It is about changing the path in front of you. Chapter 3. The Friction Method. Here is a secret that successful people know. Willpower is a limited resource. You only have a certain amount of discipline every day. If you use it all up fighting the urge to check your phone, you will have no energy left to actually study English. The solution is not to be stronger. The solution is to use the friction method. Friction is anything that makes a task harder to start. Think about your phone. It is designed to have zero friction. One touch and you are inside an app. That is why it is so easy to get distracted. To regain your focus, you must flip the script. You must make your bad habits hard and your good habits invisible. Let's look at your bad habits first. If you want to stop checking social media while you study, you must add friction. Do not just put the phone on your desk, put it in another room. Turn it off. Put a long, difficult password on the app. By adding these small steps, you give your brain a pause moment. In that 5-second delay, your logic can return. You realize, wait, I don't actually need to check this. Now, let's look at your good habits. Most learners keep their English books closed on a shelf. To study, they have to walk over, find the book, find a pen, and clear a space. That is too much friction. Your tired brain will choose the easy path every time. Instead, make your study habit invisible and easy. Before you go to sleep, open your English book to the page you want to read. Put your pen right on top of it. Place the book in the middle of your kitchen table or next to your coffee machine. When you wake up, the start is already done for you. There is zero friction. Maybe you have noticed this in your own life. When a bag of chips is open on the table, you eat them without thinking. But if the chips are at the back of a high cupboard in the kitchen, you probably won't bother. Your brain is lazy. It wants the path of least resistance. If you design your life so that English is the easiest path, you will study naturally. You won't need to try hard. You will just do it. But even with the right habits, your physical space matters. In the next part, I will show you how to turn your room into a fortress where distraction cannot find you. Chapter 4. Designing the Fortress. Most learners misunderstand this. They think focus is something that happens inside their head, but focus actually starts with what is in front of your eyes. Your brain is constantly scanning your environment for cues. A cue is a signal that tells your brain to do something. If you see your bed, your brain thinks about sleep. If you see a TV remote, it thinks about entertainment. If you try to study English in a place full of distractions, you are fighting a losing battle. You need to design a fortress of focus. This is a physical space that demands only one thing: deep work. Think about your current study space. Is your desk covered in old mail, empty cups, and charging cables? This is visual noise. Even if you are not looking at the mess, your brain is processing it. It is like having 20 tabs open in your mind, but in the real world. Every object is a tiny distraction pulling at your energy. Let's look at a mini example. Imagine 2 desks. The first desk is cluttered. There is a tablet, a snack, some loose papers, and a phone charging. On this desk, the brain is confused. It doesn't know if it should eat, play, or work. The second desk is a blank slate. It is completely empty except for one English book, one notebook, and one lamp. On this desk, there is only one choice. You study or you do nothing. When your environment is simple, your mind becomes quiet. You don't need a home office or a library, you just need a focus trigger. This could be a specific chair, a certain pair of study headphones, or even a specific scent like a candle. When you sit in that chair or put on those headphones, you tell your brain, the playtime is over, we are now in the fortress. If you don't have a separate room, clear your kitchen table completely before you begin. Hide everything that isn't related to your goal. There is a strange reaction in the brain when it enters a clean, dedicated space. The heart rate slows down, the urge to scroll fades away. You are creating a boundary between the noisy world and your goals. But once your fortress is built, how do you actually spend your time inside it? Later in this video, I will give you a specific protocol to follow. But first, we need to talk about the hardest part, the silence. Chapter 5, the 60-minute deep work protocol. Here is a psychological mystery. Why does 1 hour of studying feel like 5 minutes when you are having fun, but 5 hours when you are bored? The answer is your focus stamina. Most people have lost the ability to sit still and think. Their brain is so used to the fast pace of the internet that silence feels like physical pain. But if you want to be fluent, you must master deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It is a superpower in the modern world. And today, I am giving you the 60-minute protocol to achieve it. It starts with the rule of 0. Before the timer starts, you must have 0 distractions. Phone in the other room, water bottle on the desk, bathroom break finished. You are not allowed to leave your chair for 60 minutes. For the first 10 minutes, you will feel a mental itch. Your brain will beg you to check the news or look at your phone. It will tell you that you are hungry or that you forgot to do something unimportant. This is the boredom wall. Most people hit this wall and quit. They open a new tab and the session is over. But you will wait. You must sit through the discomfort. Do not fight the thoughts, just watch them pass. After about 15 minutes, something magical happens. The itch disappears. Your brain accepts the silence. You enter the flow state. In this state, your brain begins to connect English words to your emotions. You stop translating in your head. You start thinking in the language. 1 hour of this deep work is more valuable than 10 hours of shallow study while watching TV. But there is a catch. You cannot do this for 8 hours a day. Deep work is intense. It is like lifting heavy weights at the gym. Start with just one 60-minute session every morning. Think about that for a moment. If you give English just 1 hour of pure, undivided attention every day, you will be ahead of 99% of other learners. Most people are busy, but they are not focused. They are just running in circles. So you have the fortress and the protocol. Now we need to talk about how to make your brain actually enjoy this process. We need to rewire your reward system so you stop craving the phone and start craving the progress. Chapter 6, the output reward. Most learners believe that the reward for studying comes in the distant future. They think, I will be happy when I am finally fluent, or I will feel good when I pass my exam next year. The problem is, your brain does not care about next year. Your brain wants to feel successful right now. This is why you choose social media. The reward of a funny video is instant. The reward of a grammar book feels miles away. To win the war for your attention, you must rewire your brain to love completion, not distraction. You need to switch from a consumer mindset to an output mindset. A consumer looks at how many pages are left in the book. This feels heavy and boring, but a creator looks at what they have produced. When you finish your 60-minute session, do not just close the book. Take 60 seconds to look at what you did. Look at the 5 new sentences you wrote. Look at the 3 new words you mastered. This is your output reward. By physically seeing your progress, you trigger a natural hit of dopamine. But this is healthy dopamine. It is the pride of accomplishment. When you do this every day, your brain starts to associate English with a feeling of victory, not a feeling of struggle. I have a gift for you to help with this. I call it the Deep Work Environment Checklist. It is a simple list of 5 things you must do before you start. Check them off physically with a pen. The act of checking the box tells your brain that you are winning. Later in this video, I will tell you how to get it. But for now, think about the last time you actually finished a task without looking at your phone once. How did you feel? You felt light. You felt powerful. You felt like a different person. That feeling is the real goal. Fluency is not just about knowing words. It is about becoming the kind of person who can control their own mind. It is about the discipline to choose your future self over a 10-second video. We have talked about the science, the space, and the protocol. Now it is time for the most important part. It is time to look at the person in the mirror and decide who you want to be. You are not slow, you are not lazy, and you are certainly not too old to learn English. You are simply living in a loud world that is trying to keep you quiet. Every time you lose your focus, you lose a little bit of your potential. You lose a little bit of the person you are meant to become. But today, you learned the truth. Your focus is a muscle, and you just started your first day at the mental gym. Maybe you know this moment. The moment when you feel like giving up because the road to fluency feels too long. But remember, you don't need to see the whole mountain. You only need to see the next step. 1 hour of silence, 1 closed phone, 1 open book. That is how you change your life. Fluent speakers are not fearless. They are not geniuses. They are simply people who learn to sit still long enough for the magic to happen. They chose the slow reward of growth over the fast reward of a screen. You have that same power inside you. Starting tomorrow, I want you to build your fortress. I want you to sit in that chair, set your timer, and fight through those first 10 minutes of boredom. On the other side of that boredom is the person who speaks English with confidence. On the other side of that boredom is your freedom. You only need the courage to start. If this lesson helped you see your study habits differently, I want you to join our community. Subscribe to Study English TV so we can keep building your discipline together. I want to see your commitment. In the comments below, write these 5 words. I will protect my focus. When you write it, you are making a promise to yourself. Thank you for watching. Now put your phone away and go do something that makes your future self proud.